Good afternoon, and ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, 5 till 4 on your, what day is it? Thursday, October 30th, 2025, the eve of Halloween. So, welcome to the program. Glad to have you aboard. Let's get right to it. First off, hey, thank you for all the haters that comment in the chat. I'm fine with you. There's a lot of people that will just type in, what is this? What are you doing? You know, every day, 3 to 4 videos come out a day. This is the only one that's more like a kind of like a news with a Catholic spin on it. Even though I don't talk about the papacy, why might I not bring up Pope and Rome a lot? Everyone else and their brother does it. I'm pretty sure there's at least there's probably about 15 other sites that do it. So I stick with things that those guys aren't even thinking about. For example, this. Indian authorities have conducted a cloud seeding experiment over New Delhi to induce rainfall and clear the city's toxic air. Now, I had this ready for a couple days ago. It came out on, I think it was Tuesday. Was that Tuesday? 29th? Yeah, it came out Tuesday, and I had so much that I put up, I totally forgot about it. But yes, the Indian authorities are conducting a cloud seeding experiment to induce rainfall. And every time they do that, first off, I get told, oh, that's just conspiracy theory. That's nonsense. It's been on local news. They do it in the western states all the time. It's very well known. It's just people don't want to believe that it actually happens. And this was from the AP. So, you know, those conspiracy theorists at the AP, the Associated Press, if you're nasty. Here is Tex Americana on Fox 13 News. Utah, speaking of the Southwest, Utah now runs world's largest remote-controlled cloud seeding program. Not long ago, suggesting humans were manipulating the weather got you labeled a tinfoil hat wearer. Now Utah's openly pumping chemicals into the sky, risking floods and ecological chaos. This is the local. Let me go ahead and just in case, somebody's going, oh, no, that's just a video. I will play from their...
Operates the world's largest remote-controlled cloud seeding program.
We're off to a great start this water year. Hopefully it's not a repeat of last year's pattern.
The group that oversees Utah's water resources got some good news when it comes to cloud seeding. That's pumping silver iodide into the atmosphere to squeeze a little more precipitation out of a storm.
The statewide average is 10.4% increase in snowpack.
To help in Utah's drought and the crisis facing the Great Salt Lake and the Colorado River, Utah jumped into cloud seeding in a big way. The legislature upped the budget from $200,000 a few years ago to nearly $16 million. That allowed the state to invest in remote-controlled generators.
When it improves the efficiency, they can be turned on and off quicker, and it also improves the effectiveness because they can be placed at higher elevations, above temperature inversions, for example.
The state is also purchasing new drones to do cloud seeding. That helps in areas like the La Salle Mountains in southeastern Utah, where they found ground generators don't work as well because of climate patterns in that region.
I think it's really exciting that we're leading the world.
Dana Van Horn, who represents southeastern Utah communities on the board, says it could help.
If we can increase the snowpack in the La Salle Mountains, I think that it'll directly impact the Colorado River flow.
In fact, lower Colorado River Basin states are now paying Utah to do cloud seeding because it benefits them.
They recognize that the water supply for the Colorado is in our mountains.
Idaho has also started kicking in money to help the Bear River and the Great Salt Lake. The state is also partnering with academic institutions for research on cloud seeding. Silver iodide is found to be safe.
Cloud seeding is a part of a silver buckshot method. There are no silver bullets as it relates to solving our Western water issues.
But environmentalists caution that cloud seeding is just one tool to help.
You know, I think the best thing that we could be doing is just reducing our use all over the place, but that's painful. This is a somewhat expensive way to mitigate that pain.
The intent of cloud seeding is to increase the amount of snowpack.
I mean, I cut it off before he said it. You didn't hear that part. Was they're looking to do more of this later. They're expecting, man, great googly moogly. They say $16 million funding. Elaine Benedicta, welcome, first timers. Yes, Elaine, isn't this how she asked? Isn't this how Tennessee or was it Texas who had horrific flooding directly after cloud seeding? You're thinking of the Texas storm that happened with the flooding near the what was that? It's like a day retreat thing. But yes, every time something like that, they do that, you see massive flooding. They've happened in Australia. France happens all the time in the UAB because they don't have the ground's not prepared for that. They get all this massive flooding, and it's not like they can just say, "Hey, we want an extra inch." You're just going to get whatever it comes out, and it comes out a little too much, and then you don't know what to do. Thanks for sharing cloud seeding. My husband thinks I'm nuts when I talk about. All he has to do is type it in. If it takes, you go on YouTube, you can type in cloud seeding, you're going to see 15 local news reports on it. I think there's only been once that the big names have done anything like that, but I don't know. But yeah, local news, especially in the Southwest, they talk about it all the time. You can find the reports from the UAB. You can find reports in France. Europe does it. It isn't hard to find. If your husband doesn't believe it, that's because he doesn't want to believe it. The evidence is there. Yes, and any of the massive flooding you see, always Spain had it happen earlier this year, I think it was. Anytime I see a major thing about flooding in a city or flooding like that, I immediately go, was there cloud seeding involved? 9 times out of 10, it is. Here's last American vagabond, Derek Brose, writing the technocratic Trump administration pressuring and consolidating the media. He wrote this 6 days ago. The technocratic Trump administration is not only launching public-private partnerships, remember that from the World Economic Forum 5 years ago, but that's in real time right now. With big tech companies, they are seeking to dominate the media landscape. The first part of this series, we examine the major ways in which the Trump administration is expanding the mission of the technocrats through the merging of state and corporate relationships. Specifically, we highlighted how the second administration, Trump administration, is buying stakes in American companies and forming private-public partnerships. Let's see. This first part of this series that he's writing is how he's working with the technocrats to consolidate control over American legacy media as well as social media. Once again, we can see that Trump and his team are moving rapidly to seize the airwaves and at least one social media network. These actions will not benefit the American people or promote the principles of free speech. Instead, it will further empower the technocratic Trump administration and the Zionists back in Trump himself. Then he gets in the canceling of Jimmy Kimmel. New restrictions at the Pentagon. Remember we talked about this last week when it was all these groups had to check off their thing on how to get, if they could get in, and nobody was doing it. The frivolous lawsuits. If you want to read this, check it out. The Paramount Skydance merger, the TikTok deal, and one of the gist that he's getting into this is flooding the airways. So air just pounding, all kinds of things coming in, flooding the waves on the media and social media with all kinds of different stuff. So you're either distracted or they hide the other things that are in it. Yeah, the Arabs did right disastrously. You know what? And they keep doing it too. Yeah, what happened is I don't care, but my wife will seize the back of my head throughout time, I guess, and didn't like that it was getting lighter back in here. I was getting a natural a tonsure going, so she asked me to buzz it off, and I like I said, I look in the mirror, I don't see anything. Didn't bother me. I don't care what my head looks like, so it bothered her. So she's like, all right. We were out of town one time. I was cutting my kid's hair, and so she asked, "Can I cut yours?" I was okay, fine. What that, I don't care. And so I've been doing it ever since. It's not a big deal. It does get dicey in the summer when I'm in the garden. I have to get a gardener's hat because I don't burn usually, but I'll barbecue if it's 98 degrees outside and the sun's burning down, and I dumb me, instead of waiting for the sun to go down or early morning, I go out there in the heat of the day to start gardening and come in kind of toasty. So just so I don't burn my head, I got one of those gardener hats. I need one of those straw ones so I can get a little straw in my mouth. But yeah, that's the reason why I should wear a hat on here, huh? I told Father Rip, him and I go to the same barber. It went over his head. We laughed about that later. All right. Here's more on the flood the zone idea. Is Benny Johnson talking about Trump on Canada 5 days ago. They cheated on a commercial. Ronald Reagan loved tariffs, and they said that he didn't. And I guess it was AI or something. They cheated badly. Canada got caught cheating on a commercial. Can you believe it? No. And Ryan Christian, the game appears to be incessantly flood the zone of political discourse with deliberately false claims, reports, and agendas in order to obfuscate and distract from the real agenda. In my view, that's the Zionist technocratic globalist shift. So again, know exactly what the black pill cutting. I should be the first black pill. I should be walking around depressed like Eeyore. Woe is me. As much stuff as I look at and see on top of everything else. I mean, that's why, people might think I'm looking at the news 24/7. I just edited 40 videos, I think, today to get descriptions, titles, the hashtags, all that stuff, and new thumbnails up. It took hours. And I still got tons more to do. I haven't done any new edits, but I haven't uploaded the ones for this week yet, which are about 10. And, I'm behind on getting more books edited, but I got all this other stuff going on. So it's not like I'm hyper-focused all the media. I just know where to look, and I just use my time wisely on it. But if I did, I should be the one like, it's over, man, game over. But we're Catholics, so, who cares? I mean, in a sense, you guys saw the Poseidon nuke yesterday, right? The Russian nuke that they have that's about, 50 yards long and can create as they said, a radioactive tidal wave. Good night. And I'm joking. I'm laughing about it, but that thing's serious. That thing will destroy. I mean, you talk about you won't be able to grow anything for 1,000 years or anything like that. But again, I remember being on a show and saying, if they nuke us, who cares? As long as you're in a state of grace, I don't care. And people got mad because they don't think that way. They think, we got to think, we're living this world, not of it, and all that. But when the rubber hits the road, it's a different story. All right, let's see what's next. Here's war has become a sport, and the U.S. seems to have the best team. It's the Bulls of the 90s. This is from a CNN article from October 24th, 2025, which shows all the team players. I find this to be sick and psychotic. You can't stop drug trafficking. There's always another way to get drugs through. And here's all the military assets that have been deployed to the Caribbean. U.S. has deployed more than 4,500 Marines and sailors, along with a significant portion of naval and air assets in the Caribbean to strengthen operations against cartels and demonstrate military power in the region. Again, great googly moogly. All for regime change. Remember that. Here's 60 Minutes. I can't play the clip. YouTube is actually coming out and said you play 60 minutes, we will ban you, we'll kick you, we'll take you down. So not playing 60 minutes because they are not allowed to be played on. I don't know how anybody else plays it. I'm the only one that can't play it. But 60 Minutes says there's only 3 possible outcomes in Venezuela. Maduro flees, gets captured by the U.S., or is assassinated. So they're presupposing the inevitability of U.S.-imposed regime change, which Lindsey Graham talked about on this past Sunday too. Always fascinating when CBS winds up in total alignment with the Trump administration. Here's another one from the same 60 Minutes. Maduro is sitting on, this is the quote from that dude right there you're looking at. Maduro is sitting on top of the world's largest oil reserves, minerals that will fuel the 21st century economy, and he's in bed with our strategic competitors. Former U.S. Ambassador James Story blatantly exposes the real reason why the U.S. is about the launch of a regime change on Venezuela. This isn't about narco trafficking. It certainly is not about democracy. It's about Monroe Doctrine imperial domination to steal Venezuela's resource for U.S. corporations. What is about to come is daylight robbery of the Venezuelan people. For those who think this is some problem in a distant country, eventually Washington will come for yours. Here's Dave DeCamp of Antiwar.com. 60 minutes greasing the skids for the regime change war. There's Daniel McAdams talking from Rand Paul the other day when he said there's no fentanyl in Venezuela. Not a little bit, none. Venezuela fentanyl equals Iraq WMDs. Remember that? We got to go get those WMDs. How many were there? They're none. We got to find them somewhere. Speaking of anti-war, let me go ahead and check out antiwar.com. Well, I just got done, Dave. Russia will respond. I got this article coming up later. If U.S. starts testing nukes. So Russia said we'll start testing nukes if the U.S. starts testing nukes. And guess what Trump wants to do? He wants to start testing nukes. Trump, Japan to get first missiles for F-35s. U.S. bombs Somalia for 3 consecutive days. It's because that's what you do when you get in the line for the Nobel Peace Prize. You regime change and you bomb people. I need to restream my war racket. Take it to DC. They'll do it in 30 minutes. IDF says truce back after killing 100. That was on there yesterday. U.S. bombs 15th alleged drug boat. So, man, bomb those boats. I mean, we don't know anybody that's in them. What do you mean? Imagine if somebody was a stowaway on one of these boats. They're a U.S. citizen, maybe. There's no drugs. So, I mean, what? U.S. to remove some troops from East Europe. Let's see. Anything new in Europe, Israel, Pakistan, Sudan? Hundreds of hospital patients killed by RSF in El Fasher, Sudan. 5,000 Somalis migrate to Europe in 8 months amid economic hardship and insecurity. I mean, always check out these guys. He's always on the ball on things. Oh, let me pull this up just to give you an idea. Like I said, I had a bunch of these up, but I didn't. Oh, yeah, if you guys saw yesterday, there's Jamaica 2030 vision. You just can't make some of this stuff up. There's the Poseidon bomb, the torpedo, the doomsday one that will cause a nuclear or a radioactive seawater tsunami. Let's see. I had a graph of where is it? I thought I had a graph of all the. I can't find it now. I know I had it of the oil. Oh well, we'll just keep going. Here's Kerry Weather. The Charlie Kirk hysteria is a blueprint for future political chaos. The assassination of Kirk whipped people into a frenzy across the partisan spectrum, whether they were mourning or celebrating. High intensity reactions flooded across social media and the country at large. It goes into leaders of crowds and their means of persuasion, the power of imaginary and authoritarians, the hate speech clip, mass reaction, systemic control. I mean, they're still talking about it. It's something weird about it when they're doing it every day. When they're tweeting, like Jack, I saw a lefty take out correct. He's posted that 50 times or something like that. Everyone, all his quote unquote friends are saying, there's not a day that goes by I don't think of him. Again, everything's seems very programmed, fake, and weird. The Pentagon readying thousands of Guard reaction forces on U.S. mission widens. As U.S. mission widens, I mentioned this yesterday, saying they saying something out. They're getting us prepared, saying the quiet part out loud in a sense, because the Pentagon has ordered thousands of specialized National Guard personnel to complete civil unrest mission training over the next several months, an indication that the Trump administration's effort to send uniformed military forces into urban areas once reserved for extraordinary emergencies could become the norm. So now you have the quote unquote fake right, or the so-called conservatives, which there's no conservative party. I hate to break that to you. If you're a conservative, there is no party for you. It died in the 1860s. If that triggers anybody, sorry, that's historical. It's historical fact. Now, they're going to have everyone on the fake right and applaud the police state, ask for the police state, want the police state. They're going to be begging for the police state. And then when that police state comes for you, what are you going to do? Top Trump officials are moving onto military bases. Stephen Miller, terrible human being. Marco Rubio, who's helping with this Venezuela regime change. Kristi Noem and others have taken over homes that until recently housed senior officers. Here's thanks to the American taxpayer, Israel is now paying their reservist soldiers a minimum of over $8,000 a month, $8,000 per month. Meanwhile, the average American soldier makes about $2,300 per month. Here's James Lee. If AIPAC can unseat someone as popular as Thomas Massie by flooding the zone with millions of dollars, we might as well call ourselves Israel. The race is about more than just a House seat. It's to decide the soul of America. There's AIPAC tracker. The Israel lobby and their billionaire donors have selected a candidate to primary Thomas Massie in Kentucky 4, and they're already spending big. The MAGA Kentucky Super PAC has spent over 1.8 million so far opposing Thomas Massie for his 2026 reelection. Some guy named Ed Garin, $1.825 million. From the Scoop, Trump swaps decorated admiral with 33-year-old Dodger. The experienced head of critical office and helps organize, blah, 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 blah. Rear Admiral Kirk Rothenhaus was recently removed from his post as Chief of Naval Research, the top post at the Office of Naval Research, ONR, and replaced by Rachel Riley, a former partner of McKinsey and Company and Rhodes Scholar recipient who has been serving since January in the Dodge-related roles inside the Trump administration. Usually the head of naval research is a very senior member of the military or the senior executive service with an extensive experience in tech, science, and engineering. Kelly, the former naval aviator and NASA astronaut, said in a brief interview, that's the kind of person we put in that job. Remember the pager that Bibi Netanyahu gave Trump? He goes, here's DD politics. People thought the gold-plated pager was just a simple gift. No, it was to commemorate their achievement together. If he's telling the truth, this would amount to a violation of the Logan Act, a U.S. law that forbids private citizens from conducting diplomacy or coordinating with foreign governments on military or political matters. The act was created to prevent individuals from undermining U.S. official U.S. foreign policy or acting as shadow governments. Trump may have admitted to working with a foreign military on a covert operation without any legal authority to do so. Here it is. Trump admits he was in on the pager attack and overthrow of Bashar al-Assad. In a Time interview, Trump admits direct involvement with the Israeli pager attacks that killed Hezbollah leaders and paved the way for an overthrow of Bashar al-Assad. This is the first explicit admission by the sitting U.S. president of coordination with Israel on covert strikes inside Syria and Lebanon, operations that destabilized the region and triggered Assad's fall. He finally admitted what we all knew: America's fingerprints are now officially on the page. And here's the link, or here's the screenshot of it. Again, all these, if you want anything, it's all underneath and the link underneath right now. Show notes, click that. Who is it? Was it Flower Leaf? You were asking, you started talking about the cloud seeding. Go underneath, click that link. The first 2 links are on the cloud seeding. Just give that, share it to your husband. Bada bing, done. Yeah. You're not wrong there. Please pray for Colombia. There was a witchcraft Congress recently in Medellin. Okay. Here's Dave Smith. I know we live in crazy times and there's a lot going on, but remember 4 months ago when the director of the NIA said that Obama committed treason and she had the proof and was sending it to the Justice Department? Anything come of that? Seems like a big deal. Yeah, you think that anything like, hey, that's treasonous, somebody got to go to jail. Nobody goes to jail. All that is just to get people fired up. Yeah, go get them. Nothing happens. John Bolton, nothing happened. Everything else, nothing happened. Trump directs nuclear weapons testing to resume for first time in over 30 years. Once a future king, President DJT, someone asked me, why do you call him once a future king? There's a secular guy called James Evan Pilato who runs Media Monarchy. I would recommend him more, but he cusses a ton in the shows. And he's the one that coined the phrase "once the future king," President DJ Donald J. Trump. So I was like, it just stuck in my head. Has called on U.S. military leaders to resume testing nuclear weapons in order to keep pace with other countries such as Russia and China. Quote, because other countries testing programs, I've instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear weapons on an equal basis. He wrote on a social media just before meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping in South Korea. The U.S. has more nuclear weapons than any other country, Trump said, with Russia second and China distant third. It has not conducted nuclear testing since 1992. Russia says it didn't test nuclear weapons, but would if the U.S. did. Dmitry Peskov, Kremlin spokesman, told Russian news agencies that recent drone and missile tests were not nuclear weapon tests. This gay Republican could make history. He'd like to talk about something else. John Reed has been making it public for decades. He's standing before a dinner full of retirees earlier the month, and the GOP nominee for Virginia lieutenant governor said it again. He's gay, and he's not hiding it. Again, you don't see anybody upset about what was the dude Kardashian, the patriarch of Kardashian, that Caitlyn Jenner, or not Caitlyn? Is it Caitlyn Jenner? Is that his name? Bruce Jenner. Yeah, Bruce Jenner turned into Caitlyn. Yeah, we're there. It's okay when we do it, is pretty much the thing. ICE, baby. ICE asked to pause operations for Halloween so children can trick or treat. So they're asking Illinois Governor J.P. Pritzker, who is a Lincolnite who dislikes Trump, the Lincolnite. It's kind of funny. It is hysterical to find. It's the Calhounian dilemma we've talked about before. Look up Brian McClanahan. He'll get into that more. Is when the party that's not in power somehow magically finds federalism and the 10th Amendment all over again. Pritzker and the others are right in what they're doing. They're wrong in that they're not consistent. Don't worry, the fake right will do it when the fake left gets back in power. Pritzker has reportedly requested that Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem and senior ICE officials suspend immigration enforcement operations in Chicago for Halloween. Let's go through that and talk about that subject. Yes, exactly. When he's on with Corbett, he is spot clean. And when he's on his own show, it's but yes, I like. I haven't listened to Plato this week, but it's just because I've been so busy on getting everything else done. Because I'm not going to play it at the house because just because the kids hear it. Sometimes when I'm working out, I'll listen to him or Christian, one of their shows. Usually, maybe Plato is easier because I don't have to. If I'm wanting to watch a screen with Christian coming up, it's the screen's on, but. with the Plato, it's MP3s. You know how it is. How a former Trump golf club worker was mistakenly deported to Mexico. When Alejandro Juarez was returned to his homeland, federal agents told him that they were just following orders. Those orders were wrong. What country? Were you born here? Illinois ICE agents use racial profiling on Walmart shoppers as they corner them in the parking lot. As ICE raids increase, many are concerned about the lines agents are crossing to get answers. And if you remember yesterday, we talked about them using the phone app that Israel came up with, and they're now using it to facial wreck everybody. And again, one thing's about the baddies, you know, the MS-13 guys, you're going to people at Lowe's and Walmart. Attention, Walmart shoppers. Get 2-for-1 special. And when you get outside, you're going to get patted down by the Gestapo that's outside just waiting for you to walk out. Sobbing daughter captures ICE detain her mom for not having social security number memorized. The video captured by the daughter of a Virginia mother being violently detained by ICE is circling social media. Obviously, I can't play it because they'll get mad at me for violence. You can watch it. It's in the show notes. Again, a lot of people don't like when I bring this stuff up, but we're fine. People are fine with getting rid of kicking illegals out. Remember, Obama is the king of deportations. It's how we're going about it. You're putting people's faces in the ground because they don't know their social security number. You're putting these guys in these, it's called the burrito. We played it last week. It's not, the humanities factor has to be involved in this. I mean, there's I don't know. I mean, everyone else has already done that with X and Facebook. Because you remember, I talked about it yesterday, Rose. Remember that thing about Facebook doing the 10-year thing, put your photo up, and then it would do a 10-year difference, see where you were. That was a whole facial rec practice, getting the algorithms up on that. So social media is already taking care of most of that because they're in the system and they're collecting the data. And then on top of that, if people open their phones with this with the facial rec anyway, it's already there too. I don't know. It probably could be. I mean, they're already in the system. Gloria Estefan on Trump's U.S. I carry my passport just in case. The Cuban-born singer on the crackdown on immigration in America, childhood sexual abuse, and long recovery from her career-threatening injury. I had no idea she had a career-threatening injury, but she looks good for 70. Whatever makeup she's got on makes her look like she's in her 30s, which is funny. I remember a friend of mine, he died about 6 years ago. His wife, I went to his house one time, and his wife came around the corner, and I didn't know who she was. She was like, "Hey, Steve." I'm going, "Who's that?" That's my wife. Oh, because she used to wear so much makeup. It was a different human being. JD Vance, I hope Usha, whatever your name is, converts to Christianity. Vice President says his wife was raised in a not particularly religious Hindu household. And that kind of what Hindus are, not kind of religious. So yeah, I mean, wait, JD, why don't you start working on that? You've already been married to her for a while. I don't know how long, how many years? Speaking to students at the University of Mississippi, the running rebels, love them. On Wednesday, Mr. Vance said his wife has been raised. That we already heard that. She regularly attends church with him, and they have raised their kids as Christians. Well, something's got to give. I mean, Brazil police are, this is in the great googly moogly file here. Police in Brazil are accused of decapitating teen gangster and displaying his head in favela crackdown before COP30 delegates, including Prince William, arrive. Boomers want to axe property taxes? Who doesn't? Millennials and Gen Z would pay for it because they're idiots. That's why. Sorry if you're a Gen Z or a millennial in there. You already know you're behind the eight ball on that. what was this? Dubai, the dark truth. It's a magnet for Londoners, but what lies beneath the wealth and glamour? Thousands of Londoners flock in the Middle East city each year, but behind the facade is a brutally repressive regime where human rights are non-existent. You probably have heard that before. Vampire butchered young boys and sold their bodies as food as grim details emerged. Again, and Rose will joke and laugh about that. Sometimes this is not for the faint of heart or good for life. Hey, don't listen to this at work with the volume turned off. Fritz Harman, known as the Butcher of Hanover and the Vampire Hanover, was a German serial killer who murdered at least 24 boys and young men in the years following World War I. And this is just coming out with more of the details of this. The alarming reality of the internet blackout as Microsoft Azure crashes just days after the Amazon Web Services experts warn we're seeing what putting all your eggs in one basket looks like on a global scale. Yeah. And maybe Polygon, Operation Polygon will come soon. I don't know. Yeah, it is the mirror. Yes, I get it. The massive outage came 9 days after the AWS outage brought half the internet to the standstill. Now, experts have revealed an alarming reality of the internet blackout. Microsoft and Amazon are the world's two largest providers of cloud computing. And again, learn how to grow your own food, learn how not to be touched on the internet, learn all this other stuff so that when the internet does go down, you're not caught with your pants down. In sports, was the NBA gambling ring, and you remember the whole thing about the gambling ring that came down, was it Monday or Friday? Was it exposed by Diddy? Did Pete Diddy offer them up to get him out of the prison? There's some interesting connections between Diddy and the recent gambling ring that snagged Damon Jones and Chauncey Billups. Is Diddy the one who gave up the details of the gambling ring to the FBI? I wouldn't put it past it. In the water is wet file, here's how much you need to exercise to feel a little bit better. Really, all you got to do is just get up and move your butt around a little bit. It's not that hard. Even if you have 30 seconds or even 2 minutes, you can do something and move around and still help your mood. Duh. In sports again, the Toronto Blue Jays are one win away from the World Series title. Game 6 will be tomorrow, so probably it will be wrapped up this weekend, obviously. This week in history, 1485, Henry Tudor crowned King of England. 2018, American crime boss Whitney Bulger was beaten to death by fellow inmates while in prison. 2003, LeBron James was drafted directly out of high school. That was 20 years ago. 1995, voters in Quebec narrowly defeated a referendum that proposed sovereignty for the province within a new economic and political partnership with the rest of Canada. Quebec has been on a independence run, a secession, and a lot of secessionists from Dixie went to Quebec and South America after the war. Muhammad Ali in 1974 knocked out George Foreman in the Rumble in the Jungle. 1961, Soviets detonated Tsar Bomba over Novaya Zembla Island in the Arctic Ocean. It produced the most powerful human-made explosion ever recorded. 1944, Appalachian Spring, a ballet by Aaron Copland, notable for its variations on the Shaker hymn Simple Gifts, was danced for the first time by Martha Grimm's company. 1938, Orson Welles' radio dramatization of H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds was broadcast, causing great alarm. Some listeners feared a genuine invasion from Mars was happening. 1905, Emperor Nicholas II issued the October Manifest, bringing the end to unlimited autocracy in Russia and ushering in an era of constitutional monarchy. 1895, German bacteriologist and pathologist Gerhard Domecq recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize in 1939. For his discovery of the antibacterial effects of protozoal was born. 1340, an allied force of Castilian and Portuguese Christians defeated the Muslim Marinids of North Africa in the Battle of Rio Salado. Key thing, Castilian. Where's that at? It's in Spain. How come it doesn't say Spanish? Because remember, the kingdoms back then, it wasn't one Spain, it wasn't a unified Spain. There are states inside Spain. Kingdom of Sicily was Italian. Kingdom of Seville, Kingdom of Castile, all this, there were all kingdoms in there. So when everyone says we want a Catholic monarchy, remember, when you had a Catholic monarchy, it wasn't the centralized government that you see today. It was extremely smaller. 130, the Roman Emperor Hadrian, officially founded the city of something in ancient Egypt. Anyways, God love you. Have a great rest of the day. I will see you later. I'm doing News from the Pew with Rick at 8:40. And yeah, have a great rest of the evening. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care and God bless. Oh yeah, I forgot to hit the thank you button.